It's Friday, Friday, Friday. I think I hit the wrong one. Wait, I want that one. Where'd you go, Jeff?
Hold up, I'm coming back.
Hey, I gotta take him off. Oh, there he is. All right.
Hey.
How's it going, good people?
Oh, I'm here.
How's Friday treating you guys?
Doing good.
Timmy, you all right?
Yeah. Just sitting back and coming into the weekend and enjoying it.
It looks like you might have started that beverage a little sooner than anticipated, baby. What do we got this week?
You talking to me?
Yeah. What are we dealing with this week?
It's potato juice and that Diet Sunkist.
Potato juice and Diet Sunkist. All right, listen, we got somebody else coming in. I don't know if this is one of your friends. Gator Matt.
Yeah, that's Dr. Matt.
Everybody got a beverage. That's good.
Dr. Matt. So this is one of your friends. Hey, welcome, Gator.
I thought we needed somebody with a PhD to kind of enlighten us here.
Nice. Welcome to the party, Gator. It looks like you're muted. Hold on. Where'd he go? He's here, but he's gone. Oh, wait a minute. There he is.
That's his son, Matthew.
Okay, he's muted. Tell Gator he's muted. He muted himself.
Hey, Matt, you're on mute. Yeah, let me hit him in Facebook.
Nice. Turn on your mic. Turn on your mic. Turn on your mic. Turn on your mic. Mic check. Mic check. There you go.
Hey, Matthew. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good now. I should be.
Wait a minute. We got to introduce ourselves. Gator, tell us who you are and where you are.
It should be on.
Yep, go ahead,
we can hear you. Tell us where you are and who you are.
Yeah, my name's Matt Basham. This is my boy Matt. Yeah, we're down in Sarasota, Florida.
Sarasota, Florida. Nice,
Yep.
Nice. So how do you know Tim Bulu?
Well, I'm a teacher, and my main man Tim Bulu was one of my students.
No, what are you teaching?
Yeah, Tim Bulu was one of my students.
At the time, I was going to St. Pete. Actually, I met Matt. I was going to go to one of those 40-hour boot camp classes on Cisco network engineering. And he said to me, we were watching football, and he says, don't do it. I'm a professor at St. Pete College. Come on into St. Pete College, you'll get a better education. So I went ahead and I went to St. Pete College. And
yeah, Tim Bulu was one of my students.
At the time, I was going to St. Pete. Actually, I met Matt. It sounds like you got Facebook audio still up. 40-hour boot camp classes on Cisco network engineering. And
Oh, he muted. Someone muted him.
Yeah.
come on in.
Yeah, I muted him. It was echoing back off of Facebook. Timmy stopped talking, and it's still going.
And I went to St. Pete College, and
Yeah, Tim Bulu was one of my students.
at the time, I was going to St. Pete. Actually, I met Matt. Sounds like you got Facebook.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay there. I'm going to mute him for a second until it catches up. So you took his class, Timmy, is what I'm understanding.
Yeah,
He's
well,
a
he
professor?
was actually the director of the program. And so he introduced me to several really good Cisco network engineers. And you know, he was running the program, wrote a couple of books and whatnot. And then one day he says to me, you know what, I'm going to go back. It's time for me to get my PhD. And I looked at him and I said, your PhD what?
Well, good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Sarasota isn't that far away from you guys, is it?
Nah, he's about 35, 40 minutes south of me.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing of a commute to the St. Pete's College. How long ago was this that you were in this class?
Well, this was a while ago. I graduated St. Pete College, I want to say in 2009. And since then, he's worked at a university out in Texas. He worked up in Bowling Green, Kentucky at a university. And now one of the things that Matt does is he mentors PhD candidates and helps them earn their PhD.
Wow.
Nice. So now, are you saying that you're going for your PhD, Timmy?
Yeah. When he offered to help me out after I got my master's, I replied back, dude, I'm tired. I don't think I can do the work.
What's the PhD stand for? Please help, dickhead? Or something like that? What's it? I don't know what it stands for.
One time I was watching the show on, it was a bunch of volcanologists studying this volcano, and they said, yeah, in this group, everybody's got a PhD. So PhD stands for post hole digger.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I got two of those in the garage.
And then I used to work with this young lady who wouldn't date anybody that did not have a PhD. So this one guy, she was bragging on and on about this PhD, and one guy walked up behind her and says, I got a PhD. She said, really? He said, yeah, pretty huge.
Oh, that's even better. I like that one.
Yeah.
I don't even have that in the closet. I had to keep that in the closet. Ooh.
She was
all right. So Gator, if you can hear me, I need you to turn the volume down on your computer so we can get you into this conversation. We're getting feedback from your Facebook feed there. So if you turn that down, I can unmute your microphone and you can join us in real time. There we go. What are we drinking there, Matt? It looks dark. It looks Guinnessy. I'm going to say it's Sam Adams. All right. So, Gator, if you can hear me, I need you to turn the volume. Oh, okay. Florida Swamp Station. Uh-oh.
Florida Swamp Ape. You know what that is?
No.
That's a creature that's supposed to be.
Oh, you can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you, but we're getting feedback from your computer.
Yeah, this is from the Florida Beer Company. It's a double IPA.
So what's a double IPA? I've never seen an IPA that dark.
Yeah, you can only get this in Orlando, and they double hop it for about 60 minutes when they make it. Oh, you can hear me now.
Nice. All right, Jeff, what are you drinking on over there?
I'm drinking Sheets Coffee. It's a convenience store in the Mid-Atlantic region called Sheets. Not Ships, but Sheets. and they got the best. You gotta walk in this place. I mean, they specialize in coffee, even though it's a convenience store. And it's always hot, always fresh. And you get these things refill all day long for $1. I love it.
Man, you're going to be up all night with that coffee here at 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night.
Most of the time I do, sure enough.
Well, listen, I splurged, and I got some frozen daiquiri mix.
Oh, wow. That looks good.
But I left it out on the counter, and it unthawed. So I had to take the pina colada mix and use it as ice.
Sounds like a good excuse.
Is it a virgin or is it a real thing?
It's a Bahama Mama and a Jamaican Me Happy and a pina colada.
I think that's translation. That's 100 proof. He's trying to tell us.
You know, if you add all those numbers up,
yeah, it's on up there.
We might be working on 115, 120.
There you go.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
That place that you go to now. Have you ever seen the movie Bucket List?
Yes.
All right. So you know that he drank, Jack Nicholson's character drank this special coffee.
Right.
And halfway through the movie, they find out that the coffee is the beans. Bats eat it and then crap it out, and they go and collect the bat crap and get the beans out and make the coffee. Did they have any of that coffee there?
That's Sheet's special blend. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But they don't use bats. They use crackheads.
We got two convenience stores. Sheets is the first one. Then we got another one. He might have it down in Florida. You ever heard of Wawa's?
Oh yeah, we got Wawa's all over the place.
Right, but they're real big up. They're real big up this way. They're out of New Jersey. They also got some down in Central Florida too. They got good coffee.
Yeah, where I get my reason I go to Wawa's now. My daughter loves Wawa subs, but what I like,
the hoagie subs are the best.
What I like about Wawa is I go to the blue pump with my gas cans for my lawnmowers and my generator, and no ethanol in that gas, and my small engines run like a champ.
Oh yeah, I use my weeders. That's why I get my gas at for the same reason. And lawnmowers, it makes a big difference. It does.
Nice. So somebody catch me up. Who's been watching TV this week? Who saw something good?
Tell me. I played around a little bit with my new Fire Stick on Sunday.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, how was that?
A friend of mine turned me on to an app called Hive, Hyve, and you ain't going to find it in the store. So you have to know somebody that knows where the URL is, and you have to turn off the protection that prevents you from downloading from a third-party site.
Right.
But it's an IPTV app for $5 a month for one Fire Stick connection, or $8 a month for 3 Fire Stick connections. You can watch any local broadcast channel anywhere in the United States.
I got one that's called Supersonic TV. It's the same thing. It's IP TV.
Yeah.
It's got 8,000 channels on it. I pay about a year. I pay $99 for a year for three connections.
Yeah. So Sunday.
And are you guys watching this stuff? What's on?
Well, the reason I got this was so that I could pick the football games I watch on Sunday. Right. Instead of having the network tell me what game I have to watch.
Right. You get all the regional games and not in your region.
So
I see. Is there a reason for somebody who say doesn't watch sports to get it?
Well, they got adult channels on there, like 75 different adult channels to watch. If you're into a lot of pornography, they got pay-per-view stuff on there too.
Some people say they like it because you can a la carte instead of like paying the cable company and getting a set package where you really don't watch the majority of the channels.
Exactly. It's a lot cheaper too.
A la carte it and only subscribe to the channels you want to watch, and that way there it may not cost you, even close to half of what you pay the cable company.
But that's what the whole Roku Fire Stick was all about from Jump Street. Now you're saying that within Roku and within Fire Stick, you got to use an app that allows you to do what Roku and Fire Stick are already allowing you to do?
What you have to understand is those things are a collection of apps.
So Hive is just like Netflix, and Hive is just like a Hulu.
Right.
But it gives you access to local broadcasts. So I can watch the 6 o'clock news from Nashville.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I can watch the 5 o'clock in Mobile, Alabama, and the Price is Right at 7 a.m. in California, right?
What I liked about it was I go into Hive, and there's a search feature, and then it comes down to categories, and there's NFL football, and I click NFL football, and it shows me all the games that are currently playing, and all I got to do is toggle down to the game I want, click select, and it takes me right to that channel.
Nice. Now, I'm a big public access fan. Do you guys check out your local public accesses at all?
Not recently. I haven't.
Come on, guys. You don't watch.
I listen to NPR when I'm in the truck.
That doesn't count. I'm talking about this is St. Pete's semi-famous folks. The little talk shows about local government and yoga and coffee shops. You don't stumble by that channel?
No, I don't stumble by that channel.
Oh.
I know where I can go to get a podcast of any, because all of the public meetings are recorded and they're uploaded to the website of stpete.org. And you can go to stpete.org and search for a podcast of any meeting, no matter what the board is.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but that's just meetings. Public access is more than that. It's like local concerts and local bands and all sorts of things.
I've not seen a channel like that. I know I got my channel that I can watch local football, local sports.
Wow, and you neither, Jeff?
No. Let me ask you, does Flint have a local? Does the city of Flint have a local channel like for their city council meetings? In addition to what you do?
Of course we do. Yeah, it's our public access station. I manage it for the city.
Okay, but it's pretty much confined to that area. I mean, I couldn't get it from Lynchburg, Virginia, correct? That's what
well, you're supposed to be able to. We're supposed to also be carried by AT&T.
Oh,
their system sets it up so anybody from anywhere can get it.
Right.
Yeah, but they wanted to put us on channel 998 or something like that when we were negotiating the contract.
Yeah,
and on the Comcast network, we're on channel 17 and 18.
That's in the local area.
Right. We call those stumble-upons. People will hit the clicker up till about 23.
Right.
And then it's destinations. You type in 67, you type in 78, and you go to the places. So we felt it was important to stay in the trip over and the low bandwidth. And plus, that's what the lowest subscribers get. They get from 1 to 24.
Right.
With their $11 free government subscription. So we had to be within that range for them to be able to.
Ours don't 15. The local government channel is.
Okay.
15. But it's the same way. It's local. I mean, you can't be in Flint, Michigan watching unless it's something I don't know how to do. Somebody else does.
Hey, Matt, I'm okay with Cupcake being gone out of New England.
Cupcake's gone. Is that his wife?
No, Cupcake. Tom Brady.
Oh,
Lord. He ain't doing too good, is he?
Well, listen, I'm trying to find out what's going on in the world. I've been stuck in my office for the last 5 days. Tell me, what have I missed?
What did you miss? The sun came up, it went down, it came up, it went down, it came up, it went down.
Sure did.
In your world, Timmy. Only in your world. And a new moon. Hey, did you get a chance to check out Woke on Netflix, Timmy?
No, I did not. This has been one of those weeks, man. I ain't had time. I've had meetings, and Microsoft had their big conference this week, annual conference called Ignite, and they had classes going from midnight or 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. every day.
Wow! And you were a part of that?
For parts of it, but I also had meetings this week. I sat on an Eagle board of review. 2 young men earned an Eagle this week.
Oh, nice. 2 of your guys.
Not my guys. No, I was asked to sit on the board for these young men because we do a review where we have 3 adult leaders that will interview the young men and then decide whether or not they earn the rank of Eagle.
Okay. All right. Cool. And you sit on the board for that.
Yep. I was invited to sit on the board. I've been invited to sit on the board again next month, which is, to me, is an honor to be able to sit on the board and congratulate these young men when they earn and hear, the excitement as they talk about their Eagle project and their life in scouting. One of the young men that I interviewed this past Tuesday night had been in scouting since he was 5 years old.
Probably started as a Cub Scout.
Yeah, that's all right.
Where he started out, they had this thing called the buddy program. His older brother was in Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
And he was going to the meetings. So they had this buddy program that basically he was acting like he was in Cub Scouts before he was old enough to be in Cub Scouts.
Right. I remember that.
7 or 8 getting the Cub Scout when I was in it back in the 70s. I never did in Boy Scouts. I stayed in until I was about 14. After that, I lost interest in it.
That's when my oldest son lost interest. Well, he went to high school, and
me too.
He was so close to eagle he could smell it, and he fell into a crowd that convinced him scouting wasn't cool, and he quit.
Well, I fell into women, and that is against me more than
that's the old joke. You know what the two fumes are that cost a lot of young men their eagle rank?
What's that?
Gas fumes and perfume.
Yep, makes good sense. I might have been 15. I think I was 15 before I got out of it. I was close to it.
I was in 1 year. I was back in Cub Scouts 1 year, but there was reasons I got out, and now I sit back. Since I've been a leader, since my oldest son was in second grade, and it's like I've had so much fun in this program. It's like, man, I wish I had stayed when I was a kid.
But I hope the organization, they're in a lot of trouble, man, with all these lawsuits going on and stuff. And I hope they can get through all. The lawyers are the ones after all this.
What happened?
Like you do anything else. I hope they can survive all this.
What's happened is to protect themselves, they filed for bankruptcy.
Right, protect their assets. That's right.
They decided what they agreed to do was to create a pot of money to pay. So any young man who was
taking advantage
sexually abused can sue, can get money out of that pot of money, but the assets that the Boy Scouts now have are protected.
That's good. Most of those are probably hard assets too, like campgrounds and stuff like that.
That's the thing is what they had to do in order to do this. Right. The largest Boy Scout piece of property in the United States is over in New Mexico. It's called Philmont Scout Ranch, and it's a mountain and a bunch of land, and it's a high adventure camp, and they put it up for collateral for a $480 million line of credit.
Wow! So they have some liquidity. I got you.
Yeah.
See, they just sold the campground here in Michigan, or one of their campgrounds. Yeah. Copnaconic, they just sold it probably 3 years ago, but really before all those lawsuits hit, they sold it.
Right. Well, a lot of councils, what's happening, the membership in the BSA is starting to dwindle. So councils are having to take a hard look and say, okay, we still need to pay our bills. We don't have the membership, so we need to look at selling property.
Yeah.
What's he got going on the phone there? Gator, unmute yourself so we can hear you. What are you saying? He showed us his phone. Unmute yourself.
He's also watching the Tampa Bay Lightning are in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup tonight. So he when I invited him in, he's like, "Well, I'll try to drop in, but I want to catch this Lightning game too."
Nice. So he's watching both of them at the same time. I am not mad at him at all.
He's watching the Lightning, and he's keeping us entertained.
All right, that works for me. Listen, I got a story for you. Actually, I got a really groovy story for you. I decided to fix. I got a little lean-to for my moped to sit in, right? And I got half a roof on it. So I told myself I'm going to go to Menards and I'm going to get this clear plastic corrugated roofing and finish the roof off. That's what I'm going to do. So I threw all 3 dogs in the car, and I said, well, I'm not going to take the highway. It's about 30 minutes north of here. So I took all back roads so the dogs could stick their heads out the window, right? So I get to the last dirt road before I'm getting on a little 2-lane highway, and there's a guy selling barbecue dinners and barbecue ribs. I said, well, yeah, let me grab some barbecue ribs. I can give the dogs some bones. I think his team scored. I can give the dogs some bones, and we'll all be happy. So I pull into the guy. I pay for the dinner. I pull in the back of the parking lot, and I chow down on the dinner. And right as I'm giving the dogs a bone, the guy walks up to me, and he says, hey, man, we're getting ready to close down. Can you use a couple of chicken dinners?
Wow.
And I said, yeah, sure. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I don't know if I'm going to make the wife happy or the dogs happy. But, yeah, I'll take some free food.
Winner, chicken dinner.
And I told the guy, yeah, I said,
Absolutely.
man, I said, I won't be able to leave it in the car. I'm on my way to Menards to get some fence posts. He says, oh, you need some fence posts? Right around behind this building is a bunch of oak fence posts. The guy told me I could have as many of them as I wanted.
Man,
I said, are you kidding me? He said, no, just take this little 2-track around the back. And I go around back, and there's a pile of oak posts, 8-foot, 6-foot tall posts, probably about 6, 7 of them I got.
wow. Lucked up good on that.
Lucked up real good on that. So now I still got to go to Menards. I just don't need the fence post, right? I got to get the corrugated plastic. So I go to Menards. The corrugated plastic is $20.49 a sheet, and the sheets are only 3 feet wide, maybe 2.5 feet wide. So I was going to need 5 of them to cover the 8-foot span. So they're looking at like $100, and I said, "Oh hell no, I'm not going to do that." I said I can throw a piece of Luan up here for $11 and be done with it. So I leave the aisle with the corrugated plastic on it, and I pass the oops rack. Is that what they call it? The oops rack, where people have returned stuff that's a little damaged or got damaged in the fray.
Right.
And they had a piece of Luan up there for $7. Next to it was a piece of what do they call that? The pegboard for $10, 8x4 sheets. So I grabbed both of those and got out of there with less than $25 and headed my happy butt home and fixed my roof. And now I'm ready for the fence. You guys gonna come over and help me dig some fence posts?
Those PhDs come in handy.
Man, but I can't get up there.
How come I figured, we got money. I see money. He got my attention. Turn on your microphone. We can hear you. You got earbuds in now. There you go, baby.
You said you want $11. We got $11 right here.
Nice. I guess I'm going to put it on the game. Who are you rooting for?
Tampa Bay, baby, the Lightning all the way.
And who are they playing?
The Dallas Stars, I think, or something like that. It's Texas.
All right, I got 50 cents.
Yeah, Dallas North Stars, formerly from Minnesota.
I got 50 cents on Dallas just to piss you off.
Is that a Jerome Bettis shirt Matthew's wearing?
It looks like he's got a Steelers shirt on, isn't it?
It's the Steelers, but I'm trying to catch the number, see if that's Jerome Bettis.
21, baby.
That's Joe Hayden from the Gators.
Okay.
Nice. So, Jeff, what's going on in your world down there, man? It's election time. Are they going crazy? Is your phone ringing every day like mine?
That's all they talk about. I'm sick. I'd be glad what's behind us. I'm sick of hearing about it. Even local stuff and everything. It's just,
no, it's Joe Hayden from the Gators.
But biggest thing around here is, I don't know if y'all ever heard of Jerry Falwell with Liberty University.
Oh yeah.
That story that's a hot story because he lives within 10 miles from where I'm living at.
Oh, wait a minute. You got to school me. I've only seen bits and pieces of it. What's going on with him?
Well, he was a chancellor of Liberty University. Been there for years. His dad started back in the 70s. And come to find out, he's been a bad boy, doing things he shouldn't be doing. And he got caught doing it. And he finally come clean with it. And they finally kicked him out of the university, thank God. And it's just still been they're digging everything up on him right now. All this stuff's coming out now locally. Somebody ain't making the local news. Like he had an incident back about 2 weeks ago since he's been fired from the university where he got stoned drunk off his ass and fell and busted his head. And he almost bled out from it. And he lost a lot of blood. His wife got him to the hospital. And then they closed him back up and all. But he needs to get some help. Man, well,
I can imagine he's a little depressed, man. He got
that's what it is. He's going on a drinking binge because he lost his throne. He's got the money. He ain't gonna walk around no money. But he lost that power, that power play. He don't have that no more. And he did it to his own self by being stupid.
Yeah. Or just feeling he was above the law. That's all.
Exactly right. He thought he was privileged, and the world done showed him he's not. And hopefully, everybody's hoping the university can move on and get past this. I think they will.
What university? What university?
Liberty University. That's the school he was the chancellor of. It's right here in Lynchburg.
And that's a theological school, right?
It's the largest Christian university in the world. It's got about 16,000 students on campus, but they got over 100,000 students online. To take all these classes online, it's huge.
And they
got
pump out
8,000 people work up there.
They pump out religious people, right? They're not doing architects.
Baptist.
It's all for theology, right?
Something like it. But I mean, they got accredited programs up there and all PhD, masters, and bachelor's of science. I mean, they got over 500 degrees you can major in up there. They got a lot. It's pretty big operation. Some of that stuff, that theology stuff, I guess if that's your gig, so be it. But if I'm going to college, spend that kind of money, I want to get something that's going to put me into a good occupation when I get out and start making money, because you got to pay those loans back.
Ooh, lightning's about to strike you down, Jeff. What are you talking about? Religion's a good business.
Well,
a career.
If that's your thing, that's fine. But I'm saying a lot of them go up there and take these programs where there's not a lot of demand for it when you get out, and they're sitting on $50,000 and $60,000 student loan. They wonder, how the hell am I going to pay for this? If you're going to go to college, spend that kind of money, get something where there's a big, like a nursing school. There's demand for nursing. There's demand for engineers, stuff like that. Code writers. Get something that's going to be, as soon as you graduate, you go out tomorrow and get that $40,000, $50,000 a year job next week.
I agree.
Another big thing, people don't take. A lot of people, young people today, don't want to get their hands dirty. Look at all these trade jobs out here, plumbers and HVAC and electrician and all. That's good money, man. And you don't have to go with it. A lot of times you have to go. You can go to a 2-year trade school and learn that stuff and get started off with it. But
but Jeff, we're living in the age of Paris Hilton, and people getting famous for just dropping sex videos. Why would I want to work?
Get a jelly butt up, or whatever you call it, silicone butt. I mean, that's taking young people in the wrong direction. Learn to trade. Trades, you make money, man.
So now, what did your parents tell you when you were in high school? What did they tell you?
They pretty much what I just told you. Pursue something where there's a demand for it when you finish with it. If you want to be a musician, make sure there's a demand for it. If you want to be, I don't know, knitting baskets, make sure you got a market for it. Don't pursue something where there's no active market for it, because you're only fooling yourself and wasting your own time, and you're going to end up in bankruptcy.
That makes sense. Timmy, what your folks tell you about going to school? Did they say go school or skill trade?
My mother always wanted me to go to college, but back then when I was in high school, college didn't interest me in the least bit. So basically what she told me when I turned 17 was, you better figure it out, because you got one more birthday in this house and you get out. 18, you're a man, and I don't support men.
Nice. Gator, what'd your folks tell you? What'd your folks tell you about education? You're muted. Unmute yourself.
No, back then they always said, if you don't go to college, you're not going to make anything of yourself. They were wrong. You got to promote the trades, all that stuff in college. You need to go.
Well, see, I'm torn. I think it's part of a scam. I think it's really part of they're setting you up for failure, actually.
It's a money-making scam.
Why does it cost so much to get an education, and why do I have to spend 10 years of my working life paying back this money for this education, for this job that you create? It's a mess. It's an industrial complex, and they got us on a spinning wheel. Doesn't make any sense to go $100,000, $200,000 in debt to get a job that's going to pay you $40,000 a year.
Well, that's the thing. You remember in high school? When I was in high school, they had electrician, they had plumbing, they had wood shop, they had auto body mechanic, they had all these trades in high school. They had taken every bit of that stuff out of high school. They didn't have in high school now maybe cooking, dental assistant hygiene program, something, you know, there's some demand for, but there's so many programs they took out of vocational schools, education out of schools that we still need it today. There's a big shortage in the market because of it.
Well, you know, I remember reading, was it just this summer, they couldn't find lifeguards. None of the kids wanted to sign up to be lifeguards at the beach anymore.
And years ago, you would fight to get that position.
You would fight for that job.
Absolutely.
That was a status.
All the women. You didn't care about the money. You had the women. Position like that. Man,
you would date.
Wait a minute. I've been a lifeguard for over 10 years, and I never attracted any women.
Oh man!
No mouth to mouth, Timmy. No mouth to mouth. You didn't save anybody.
No.
Hey man, hey Paul. He must have been hanging out the wrong pool then.
You know, that's all I'm saying.
Man,
yeah, you gotta stop hanging out at the kiddie pool.
I'm hanging out at Boy Scout pools.
Yeah, you gotta stay away from the kiddie pool. Get something at least 6 feet deep, Timmy. At least 6 feet.
Dude,
in order to qualify, you got to be able to go down to 10 feet, pick up a 10-pound weight, and bring it back in 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Well, that's a good question. I got a question. Jeff, what was your first job? What was your first job?
Oh, I had a lawn care business when I was a teenager. I used to cut grass in the neighborhood I grew up in. Did good, too.
All right, not your first entrepreneurial adventure, your first paycheck gig, your first.
Oh, working in a convenience store.
W-2. What?
I worked in a convenience store.
A stop and rob?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to call it the one-shot food market. Shoot you one time, it's over with.
All right, Gator, what was your first job? What was your first job, Gator? Unmute yourself.
He's still not muted.
I don't know if you can hear. It's a little bit of a delay. Unmute yourself so you can tell us what your first job is, Gator. Nope, unmute. Unmute.
There we go. My first job was washing dishes in an ice cream shop.
Washing dishes in an ice cream shop.
Yeah. You have to start somewhere. I loved it and everything like that.
And what were they paying you? How much an hour?
I think it was $3.35 an hour back then, but
that's what it was, $3.35 an hour.
Yeah, back in the '80s, and I had fun. You know, there was a lot of pretty girls working there. I squeezed a lot of titties, and I was out in the trash bin with all the ice cream containers with all the extra, carbon dioxide and nitrous and stuff. You know, it was fun. I had a great time. You know, probably blew a lot of brain cells, but hey, we had a good time. You know? That was way back when you could have a kegger out somewhere in the parking lot and stuff like that. And you used to have a lot of fun.
Keggers. These guys don't know anything about keggers. You know what I found on YouTube?
These kids do not know about it. No, not at all.
I found a really cool series. I found a really cool series on YouTube. It's called First Time. These two young hip-hop kids listen to classic music for the first time. Like they'll listen to Harry Belafonte, they'll listen to Carmen, they'll listen to MC Hammer for the first time, and George Carlin. And it's really fun watching these kids' reaction to this Class A stuff, man. I am impressed by their positivity. I haven't heard them say anything negative about anything that they've experienced from old school music. Actually, the opposite of that, I see them jamming. They're just loving it. When it was Phil Collins. You guys remember Phil Collins?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, he says they stopped the video and they says nobody has ever done a drop 6 minutes into the song. Oh my gosh.
He was a drummer and a vocalist, which is rare.
Yeah. He was amazing. At least I remember it because I was working at a skating rink, and we used to use that tune to close out at night because of the strobe lights.
Right.
Yeah.
When it would hit that beat, we could throw the strobe lights on and boom, and then just darken the whole arena at the end of it. It was fabulous.
Right. Sounds like a great Netflix series. Call it Keggers.
Keggers. I remember Keggers.
That's a pretty good idea, really.
Oh yeah,
Listen,
stories from the 80s, you know.
Too, back in the 70s.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so did you guys
Stories from the 80s.
have senior skip day when you were in school?
Yep.
Oh yeah, way back when, you know, and we used to hide along the side of a country road, and you know, two of us would jump out, and they would have like red lights. They would spin them, and then two others would jump out. I would jump out with two white lights like this, like we're a cop car. We'd pull cars over, and when they'd stop, we turn the lights off. We'd jump in the bushes, and they were like, "What the hell?" You know, we'd go out. We'd have a kegger out. We'd go have a kegger out by some gravel pit somewhere, some quarry or something like that, and somebody would get so fucked up that they would go out and they'd inadvertently piss on the electric fence, and you hear them screaming in the distance, going "Ah!" You know, kids these days they don't do stuff like that. You know, they need to experience that stuff.
They called it a grasser here in Grand Blanc. It was the grasser, the senior grasser. And what they would do is they would try to recreate Woodstock.
Right.
Yeah. They take over a farm field and put speakers in it and a stage in it, and you would just pull in with your car, park, and tailgate.
Well, yeah. See, I saw earlier you said it was MI. I grew up in Detroit, so I'm from Michigan.
Okay.
That's what we did down there, you know.
Nice. Okay, so
I grew up seeing Ted Nugent and Bob Seger, you know, playing their guitar on the corner for 50 cents. You throw quarters in their cases, you know.
Oh, come on now! You went to the Silver Dome to see him.
Oh yeah. I saw him at Silver Dome. I saw Kiss and Kobo and Kiss and Joe Louis and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so now listen. I asked you about your first job. You all have children. What were your children's first jobs?
Well, Matthew obviously. Matthew has had a couple of jobs. He got a job at Dillard's, and he was taking hangers out of a box and putting them on a hook. And my daughter's first job was writing. She wanted to be a writer like her daddy because I don't know if Tim said that, but I wrote a lot of Cisco textbooks, and we stopped counting after 20 million copies of it. It went around the world. It was really popular. That was my 15 minutes of fame, and that's what I did. And my daughter wants to be like Daddy.
Timmy, you didn't tell me he was a rock star. You didn't tell me he was a rock star.
I told you he's a published author, didn't I?
Oh my goodness, Cisco! Everything you wanted to know about Cisco, but were afraid to ask, right?
Yeah. I mean, I went to Washington, D.C., and I appeared in congressional hearings on the high cost of textbooks. I went to Harvard Law School, and I took on all the big factions and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I did. That was in 2004. That was way back when. And
Gator, what would you do different? What would you do different now with hindsight? What would you do different?
Not piss off my boss in St. Pete as much, because it ultimately cost my job. But hey, I didn't care because I'm helping people. Why I do what I do is to help people. I'm in the business of creating lives for families. I created a life for Tim and his family. I created lives for hundreds of people, and that's all I care about. I don't care about getting rich myself. I already did all that kind of stuff and everything. I'm in the business of creating lives for families, and that's what I did. And I'm very honored to have helped Tim and Heidi and his entire family and other families all around the world and all over the universe.
Hey, Paul?
Yeah.
He actually wrote a textbook and gave it away for free.
Yeah.
Nice. To the school system or just to everybody?
To the students.
To the world. To the world.
Nice.
I used a business model from old school computer hacking called freeware shareware. If you like the book, give me $5, and my textbook sales, quadrupled overnight. And I made more money than I ever did in my life, you know, I was giving the book away for free, but I didn't care because I was changing the lives of everybody around the world and creating lives for families. And that's what I want to do. I don't care about me. I care about other people like Tim and Heidi and everyone else. You know, it was awesome. I love doing it.
Man, I love shareware. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yes, indeed. And then there was beerware.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, limeware. I remember that.
I still owe Tim a beer, and he's got to come down here. He's going to get it. But it's a $10 bottle of beer, but he'll get it. You know, it's good.
Jeff, what's your kid's first job?
Don't have any kids.
No kids.
No kids.
Well, what was your first job then?
Me,
You know, I am trying to think. I mean, my first job was go-kart and mini bike repair. I did that out of the garage, and then my first paycheck was still under the table, but I think it was working for Manny Spinola, doing the masonry stuff in Scituate there.
Yeah.
That was the closest I got to a payroll. And then after I did that, I worked for the Shapiro brothers at a delicatessen in downtown Flint. And then I opened my rubber stamp business. And across the street from the deli that I worked at. So I would work at the deli and then go across the street and make the rubber stamp business go. Yeah, that's what I did.
So my first job, or my first real paycheck tax deduction job.
Let's get both of them, Timmy.
Okay, so the first job was basically doing odd jobs for neighbors and friends of my father's, yard work, stuff like that, for my pocket money under the table. My first paycheck job was, you ever hear of the CETA program?
Yeah.
Okay.
Summer program.
It was with the CETA program, and I got a job as part of a work crew that got stuck out in the woods for the entire summer, and we were just given a plot of land and told to clear it and make a nice park out of it. So we went through, cut a bunch of underbrush and trimmed a bunch of trees up to like 8 feet high, and we chipped all the wood and spread it around as bark mulch and just basically made a nice park that people could go hang out in over in North Scituate by the old Scituate Rod and Gun Club.
Nice. Wait a minute. You worked for Manny Spinola too, didn't you?
Nope, I never worked for Manny Spinola. I used to swim in his pool, but I never worked for him.
You never got to read the dirty magazines under the front seat of the truck?
No, never got in that truck.
I don't know if you lucked out or not.
My mother purposely kept me away from that.
I bet considering what happened later on, I can imagine why. I mean,
my mother knew Manny well. You know, years they worked together and all that.
I was always told never trust a man with hair coming out of his ears, and this guy had a full fro coming out of his ears, man.
I ended up, just before I went in the Marine Corps, I was washing dishes down at the old Harborview restaurant, the grog shop in the Harborview. You remember them downtown Scituate?
Yeah.
It's called TK O'Malley's.
Okay.
So I was washing dishes there, and the guy that owned it was a friend of my father's. And so he was there every night until about 9:30, 10 o'clock when they closed the kitchen down. And as soon as they closed the kitchen down and he left, the bartenders decided they were done washing dishes for the night. And they used to send me back their racks of glasses with 2 or 3 long necks stuck in the rack. And I kept a cooler underneath the dishwasher with ice, because by the end of the night, I'd have at least a 12-pack, maybe an 18-pack in the cooler. And at that time, we still hung out up at the pits.
Right.
So cops would say, go up there and hang out. Just make sure you're sober enough to drive when you leave.
I remember the pits. I was too young for the pits. I used to watch the pits off of my motorcycle on the hill. I used to go to the hill and watch them party.
Yeah, I've been many parties up there and seen many interesting things going on up there. And don't forget the night I ended up walking over there, so I'm walking home and cutting through and come across a buddy of mine's '69 Camaro bouncing away.
Well, listen, I just looked in. We got some comments. That looks like Monisha, Irene's people, Jacob Arredondo from Australia.
Wow.
Ah,
So what's it say? You two, good vibes. And then we got Flora Lee. I don't know where she's from, but we're going to say hi to Flora Lee. Mr. Matt's having a ball up there. And then we got Matt Basham. What are your thoughts on going to college or tech school? Let's hear from you. Yeah, so I think we had that conversation. That was at 9:37. Yep.
Matt Basham. That's Gator Matt. Same guy.
That's him. Oh
Yeah.
wow, man, you clean up pretty good, Matt. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that picture. You look like a professor. My God.
Where's Sheila at tonight?
There you go. I like the way he thinks. So I need to know who's a Marvel fan. Who's a Marvel fan? I want to watch. I've decided I'm going to watch the Marvel series, and I need to know what order I'm supposed to watch it in. Any of you guys hip?
I'm not into Marvel. Not into it. Couldn't tell you.
Is that like the Iron Man and that whole
The superheroes
Iron Man,
type thing.
Thor, Thanos.
I never could get into it. I tried to look at it years ago.
I like Iron Man. I didn't get into Thor. Trying to think of the other ones there that I've watched a couple of the other ones, but Iron Man was the only one I really got into. I've got the trilogy.
You should be watching Batman.
Well, I tell you what happened. I fell asleep watching YouTube one night, and when I woke up, there was a guy that was dissecting the trailers of these Avenger movies, and he was damn near going through frame by frame, pointing out hints in the trailers that led to the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He would say, listen, they used the blue light here so that people would remember the blue light from the movie in the past that used to mesmerize this guy. And then he'd go to the next frame and he'd say, she's wearing a brooch that came out of episode 2, season 4. And then he said, look at the house number. On the house number, it refers to the comic book number 269, where this character did that and that. I'm just like, oh my God, is it really that serious? Hey, Sharima!
Sharima joined us.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Tim. Hello, gentlemen.
How you doing?
I'm doing great now that I finally just quit working.
Oh my goodness, you just prettied up the room.
Oh, I agreed.
Meet Gator and Matt up there in the center.
So Matt kind of in the same line of work, right? Because you're a grant writer, right, Sharima?
Yes, that's what I was doing tonight. I was writing a grant.
What are you doing writing a grant at 9:54 at night, Sharima?
Because this grant was supposed to have been submitted in mid-November, but the organization told us this week, it's due on the 30th of September. I had to write the whole thing from scratch.
Oh my goodness, I've been there before. I've been there before. We used to do grants so last minute. Let me tell you how last minute we did grants.
How last minute did you do grants?
I used to have to drive them to Lansing, and I would leave here at 4:38 to get them to Lansing by 5 o'clock. It got to the point where I took my children, my babies, with me, so that they would have sympathy for me when I ran up the stairs at 2 minutes after 5. and it works every
Paul.
time.
All right, so for those who are not in Flint, tell them how far away Lansing actually is from Flint.
45 minutes away. We used to do 110 miles an hour in a church van.
I was gonna say an hour, you know. I-96,
You're from
I-94,
Detroit. We're Flint,
I-75. You
baby.
know?
It's a beeline up 69, but it was terrible. I'd be driving 100 and something miles an hour, and my partner in crime would be in the back of the van collating the packages together so that we would have 5 copies to turn in when we got there.
Wow.
So,
Unless you're going to Clarkston to go to Pine Knob to see a show, there's nothing else up there until you get to Sheboygan, unless you want to shoot some elks.
Wait a minute now. I'm in Flint, Gator. Come on, baby. Don't pass up Flint.
Hello.
He said nothing up there till Sheboygan.
Hello.
He just dissed us. Totally.
Yeah, Sheboygan. Go up in the thumb area, you know, and get some sugar beets.
Hey, Sharima,
That's where our family's from, you know.
up there in the corner there, that's Professor Matt. That's Professor Matt.
It's
Yeah,
lovely
wait a
to
minute,
meet
Gator.
you.
Hey, Gator, look at his picture. I'm sorry, Sharima. Look at his
Dr.
picture.
B.
Yeah. You see that?
man.
Can you see that?
I do, I think.
That's Grizzly Adams up there. Look at him.
Of course it is. It's very small.
He's slumming with us, man. This guy is famous. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I'm having fun, you know. Why not? Yeah, you have to get the anonymity, you know. That's what the beer does.
Well, listen, I'm turning people on to a couple things on Netflix. All right, the first one is Woke. Streamer, you might enjoy Woke.
Okay.
All right.
You might enjoy Woke, and then the other one I think Timmy suggested was the Umbrella Academy.
Okay.
Timmy, was that you?
Me.
Who said the Umbrella Academy?
I don't know, but it wasn't me.
Oh, it was Jarvis. It was Jarvis said the Umbrella Academy.
Thank you, bud.
So I'm gonna check out the Umbrella Academy. I've already burned through Woke, and unfortunately, it's just the way I work. After the first episode, I was able to figure out how the end of the show was gonna go. But I'm curious to see if you guys can, because I mean, the first and second episodes kind of told me exactly what was gonna happen, and so now I'm just watching it happen, which is still pretty cool. It's not as enjoyable as Lost was, because Lost was just stupid. I don't know what those people were on that were writing that show, but they were on something good.
Well, it lasted several seasons, so it must have been good that they were on.
It was until it got to the end, then they got burnt out on whatever they were burning out on.
Now it's part of the
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we've only got a couple minutes left. You guys want to leave with any closing words? Matt, I'm going to give you first chance at some motivating, positive, life-inspiring words. Make sure you unmute yourself first. We don't want to miss any of it.
The best thing I can say to you is avoid politics, avoid religion, be positive, because, you know, our life clock ticks down when you're negative. Just be positive, have fun, and enjoy life.
Nice. I like the way you said that. Timmy, what do you got?
What I got is I'm gonna kind of go the opposite. Make sure you educate yourself on the local issues, and you vote, and make sure you vote in your local, because voting for the national without voting for your local is not going to work if you're not happy with the way things are. Nice.
Jeff, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to reiterate what he just said. Get out and vote. I don't care who you vote for, just do it. You know, many people died before us to have the right to do that, and just enjoy life. Don't let the small things worry you to death or bog you down. Just get out and do the best you can, and make time for yourself. Don't be afraid to reward yourself. Go out there and find out what life has to offer and go for it. Be something.
Nice. Sharima, what you got, baby?
I got a mixture. Go vote, especially if you are a woman. We fought too hard for the vote to not vote. Vote, be informed, but try not to internalize all the polarization. It just ain't worth it.
It ain't.
So here's a suggestion. I got a suggestion, and this is directed at all the women in the world, okay? If the women would just threaten to cut the men off if they don't vote, we will have record turnout. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You want a piece of me, you got a piece of thee. That's all I'm saying.
Been done. It's been done before.
It's been done. I think it needs to be done again. Cut them off. Cut them off, ladies. Cut them off. And with that, listen, I want to encourage each and every one of you to, hey, if you want to do what we do, you want to have your own podcast, your own internet series, it's doable. Spectacle Productions does that. You can call us at 810-239-2901, and you can get your internet on, your webcasting on, your public access on. We're determined to make a difference, and we want you to too. Remember, enjoy the life you're living just until you can live the life you'll enjoy. Stand by.
Great show, Paul. Thank you.
Oh, man, you guys rock.
Good night, everybody.